I think there's a real serious problem in PR and comms where the line manager or the team leader or the head of comms or whatever you want to call it doesn't get to spend time with their team. Now, if this sounds familiar, keep watching this video. I hear it all the time when I go into different workplaces. Sometimes people say it up front in front of the boss. Sometimes they'll say it to me or behind their back. But it's a constant complaint I hear that the line manager doesn't get to spend time on their day-to-day work with their team. They're forever getting pulled into meetings with more senior figures in the organisation, or they're writing reports, or they're writing proposals, or whatever it is. And it causes a whole heap of problems. First of all, it means that the team is a person down almost all the time, because the team has been set up and staffed on the basis that the line manager will play a daily active part in that work. Writing the press releases, dealing with the media, making videos, whatever it is. But in reality, they hardly ever are doing that because they're pulled in all these other directions. So you've got the whole team's a person down. Secondly, not having that regular day-to-day contact with your line manager leads to the team feeling a little bit demoralised. We know that it can cause problems around anxiety and stress, maybe even more significant mental health issues, or it can contribute to that, and it can contribute to people leaving the organisation more quickly. If this sounds familiar, if you're in this situation, it's really important that you take some action and that you get some help so that you can say no to the other demands on your time from other departments or from board members or senior figures in the organisation. Now, there are some managers and there are some team leaders who successfully manage all of this, and that they have systems and methods that they've learned to say no so that they can get that time with their team doing the tasks that they got into this to do. There's a real problem if you're the leader of a comms team and you're spending this time with senior management, and if it's clear to them that you don't know what your team is doing, you're in an extremely weak and vulnerable position that will lead them to question the value of that entire team. What are these people doing? Why are they even here if their line manager can't articulate the value that they bring? And this is why in our training I always say you need to take the successes from your team, the best work they've done, by whatever metric you want to use, and frame it and get it up on the wall. It needs to be abundantly clear at all times for anybody walking through the organisation what it is exactly that your team are doing. You need to be proud of it. You need to shout about it from the rooftops. And if the CEO is giving somebody a guided tour of the office, they should be able to walk into your space and say, "This is my comms team. Look what they're doing. Look at this. Isn't it brilliant?" And they should be able to walk down the wall and framed up on the wall, whether it's images from campaigns, whether it's graphics with stats and facts and figures, you've got to be able to articulate the value that your team brings. Now, if you come running every time senior management whistle, if you drop your team in it for the day because senior management have said that there's a call you need to be on or a meeting you need to be in, if you never say no to them, what does that say about, well, what are we actually paying them to do? If you can just drop it, and come in to us because we told you it was important, but what was it you were actually doing? You've got to take these battles on. You owe it to yourself, but more than that, you owe it to your team. Have a look around LinkedIn and YouTube. Come and speak to us. There are people who have successfully navigated these issues. You've got to say no. You've got to learn how to say no. You've got to empower your team. And it's so important that you articulate the value that they bring to the organization. Nobody is going to do this for you. And the weakest position to be in a workplace is you just do what your boss tells you to do. That's going to get you nowhere, because one day they're going to say, well, we don't need this anymore. They need you to innovate. They need you to stand up for yourself. They need you to follow your heart and do what it is that you want to be doing, what you think is important. You've got to stand up for yourself, and you've got to take that initiative. And sometimes that's going to involve saying no.